You think that star employee is saving you, but what they might be doing is causing a real problem in your business. Let's talk about how. One of the things I run into when I'm teaching people my systems, teaching them the importance of why they need that in their business so they can go on vacation, so the business isn't so reliant on them. I get the objection sometimes. Hey, I can leave my business anytime. I go on vacation all the time. I got a great manager that handles everything for me. Well, what if I told you the person that you want to lose the least, that person you are so reliant on, what if he's the one you need to plan around? What if they're the one that you need to make a contingency plan for? Well, what do I mean by that? Well, there's a hidden trap when you're too reliant on one person in your business. And unfortunately, I see that all the time. In fact, just recently, a restaurant owner I know had this exact issue. Such a great manager they had, and they were getting a lot of customers coming in because of that manager. And they had a lot of great things that manager was doing. The employees were really stepping up their game. And what happened? That manager got leaned on so hard by that owner. They started taking a lot of trips. They started being gone more because, hey, the manager's taking care of it. But eventually that manager left. I don't know if they got poached, if they got taken somewhere else because of how valuable they were, or maybe they were just feeling burned out by all the responsibility that this owner was just laying on them and basically saying, here, you take care of it for me. Whatever the case, you have to plan around this. This is a good possibility when you're too reliant on one person. This is called the star employee trap. Now, what's the trap? This person performs so well that you're not building systems in your business. The systems are in their head. They're not documented. They're not in your business. You've accidentally made that person irreplaceable, whether you like it or not. And that's not a good position to be in as a business owner, where you have a irreplaceable employee. That might go to their head and they might use that against you. So what can you do about it? Well, first of all, what are the hidden risks? Obviously, they're not that hidden, but there are some less obvious risks. What happens if that person gets sick? What happens if they have to move? I had a manager that moved across the country, and he gave me notice, but it still was a big deal because he had so many responsibilities. What happens if they do get poached? They become so valuable in your company, and you know what happens? Other business owners come, they use you, and they see that person, what all they're doing, and they say, I could pay you a lot, and they think in their mind the risk reward and how valuable you are, and they want maybe what you're having that more time off. Maybe they haven't built systems in their business, so it's not unusual for employees to get poached. Another hidden risk of having this irreplaceable person is you might avoid making hard decisions. You might avoid maybe firing somebody that needs to be fired, a low performer. Maybe you're not making the adjustments to your processes, to a sales system or something like that because, hey, they'll handle it. They think on their feet, they do a good job, they'll take care of it. And you've also unintentionally created an environment where other people in your company are not growing. They see that this person just does everything for them. Again, I had a manager that just did everything for everybody, and it kind of stymied the growth of the other people. They're like, well, what's the point? You're just going to take over and do it for me. What are the signs that you're too dependent? Well, would you panic if they gave notice? I know you're going to panic when any key employee gives notice, but would you really panic if this one gave a short notice and you'd be like, this is doom and gloom. I'm going to have to go back to the office and do everything again myself because they just took care of it all for me. It's a sign you're too dependent. What's another sign? The customers ask for them specifically, maybe by name, instead of asking for the company or the service. I didn't even like customers to ask for me specifically because I wanted to start getting off the truck. So I didn't want them asking for me. I wanted them we wanted to have the same system that every employee did so that they would get consistent service every time and they wouldn't need to ask for a specific person. Another sign that you might be too dependent is if you don't know how to do certain things that they do. And it's okay, like I've said it before in one of my videos, I didn't know how to run some of the machines, but I had other people that were cross-trained. I had it documented on how to do it, so I could pick up a book and learn how to do it in an afternoon if I needed to. Now, I wouldn't be as proficient as somebody that does it every day, but I could figure it out. But you're too dependent if this person leaves and now all of a sudden you don't even know how, maybe you don't even know what they do during the day. There's so many things that you're gonna have to figure out that you're in real panic mode. That's a sign that you're too dependent on this person. So how do you fix it? What do you do if you're in this situation? Well, we talk about it all the time. You have to have systems. You have to document everything that person does. get their help. Have them sit down with you or another employee and maybe shadow them for the day and write down the things they're doing. Okay, how did you do that? What was step one? If we had to write that down, what would step one of that be? Step two, let me take some photos. I took some videos of them doing one of our processes on our rug machine. Was kind of complicated, and I like to have the whole thing. We did a whole 45-minute, 1-hour video of how to do a rug. And it was just step by step, what button to press, what to look for, how to open the door of the machine. It was just outlined in video, and it was super nice. You could just show that to a new trainee. They could rewind, fast forward, whatever they needed to do. I would watch certain points of that over and over again just to figure out what I was doing wrong. So it's very key that you document what they do. And in line with that, start cross-training other employees so other people know. And this is valuable just if that person needs a sick day. I would cross-train everybody in my company. I learned that very early on. Let's get everybody cross-trained, because I did have some issues when my very first manager left that I did have to step back in and do everything. And by the time we were 3 or 4, 5 years into this, man, we were so good. When I had a manager give notice, I just took a list of the things they did, all the documented processes, distributed among a few people while I looked for the next manager, and everything just got taken care of seamlessly. And so when you cross-train, that's really key too, because for instance, this manager did payroll for me. And if he would miss on the day the payroll was done, I had another person that was trained how to do that, and they could just step in and do it. I didn't have to try to figure it out like a lot of you guys are having to come into work and figure things out. Maybe you already have to be on the truck all day, and now you have to come back to the office at the end of the day because someone called out, and have to try to figure out how to run payroll, something that you don't do often enough to be good at, and now you're figuring it out from scratch. Listen, if you cross-train somebody, yeah, maybe you have a little bit of redundancy. Maybe you have a few extra hours a week that are a little bit wasted because you have people cross-trained. It will be worth it in the long run. Trust me. If you really want to build a turnkey business, and you do, trust me, then have a little bit of overlap, have some cross-trained people. It is key, especially in a vital position like management. You may not need that on the lower levels, but on the upper levels, things that are crucial to your company, have somebody else. Don't just have one person that is so key to that business that if they left, it all falls apart. What you want to do, that doesn't mean you want to get rid of this key employee. You don't want to start replacing them. What you want to do is make sure that they're managing the system, not that they are the system. So you create the systems, the written documented systems of what they're doing, and then they're still managing that system, but they are not the system. If they were to go, it's all documented, it's all in place, it's all cross-trained. And so now there is a system in place that they are managing. They are not the system. In close, you want to have great employees that you can build around. You want to build a business, not a dependency, not dependent on 1 or 2 people that you would just fall apart without. And so it's so important to create those systems. So ask yourself, who is the key person in your business? We all have one. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's a manager. Who is the key person in that business? And what can you do so if they're not available, how can you build a system around that person, not relying on that person? And that's what I leave you with today.